is Kashina Nair. My metric number is 23 DLS24 F2010. Today I will present about research project about ABC Cafe, which is located nearby Polytechnic Nilai. ABC Cafe refers student and local residents by proving affordable meals. For the research, data was collected over 3 months for daily operation records. The data include daily sales in RM Malaysia Ringgit, customer count and customer age, satisfaction rate from 1 to 5 and waiting time in minutes. Moving on to the next part, which is the problem statement. The first one, ABC Cafe experienced unpredictable daily revenue and changing customer traffic. Maybe it's a difficult plan and allocate resources effectively, which is we going to the second part. The cafe has limited statistic experience and analyze the data collection and make a meaningful conclusion. And the third was the cafe need a identify peak hour, the main customer age group, and how waiting time effectually customer satisfaction. There are scientifically analysts can help the cafe understand its customer and improve its daily operation. Moving on to the research objectivity and methodology, the main objectivity are to organize the data in frequency table, create histogram and frequency chart, calculate discrete satisfaction such as the mean, mode, median, standard deviation and variance, and provide useful recommendation for the cafe. For the methodology, we use a sample of 51 daily operation records collected over 3 months. The variants used are sales, custom count, custom age, satisfaction rating, and waiting time. For the statistics approach, a formula was applied and determined 6 class interval with a class of RM5 ringgit Malaysia, groups of data formula where the use the descripted as statistic analyzing.
Good day everyone, I'm Hemani Armugam and my metric number is 23DLS24F2028. For this section, I'll be presenting the statistical analysis of ABC Cafe's daily sales data. First, we can see the main statistical values from the data. The sales data is divided into 5 classes with a class weight of 5 ringgit and the overall range is from 1 ringgit to 40 ringgit. The mean sales is 12 ringgit 90 cent, which represent the average daily sales. The median is 10 ringgit 71 cent, meaning that half of the recorded sales are below this value and half are above it. The mode is 8 ringgit 76 cent, which is the sales value that occurs most frequently. The variance is 62.54, while the standard deviation is 7.91. The standard deviation tells us how much the daily sales values vary from the average sales. The peak occurs in the 6 to 10 ringgit interval with about 20 days. This tells us that this is the most common sales range. Finally, the distribution is described as the right skewed or positively skewed. This means most of the sales are concentrated around the lower values, while a smaller number of these have much higher sales. Overall, these statistics give us a general understanding of ABC Cafe's daily sales pattern and how much the sales fluctuate. Next, we have the histogram of daily sales. A histogram is used to show how frequently different sales occur within specific intervals. From this histogram, we can see that the highest frequency occurs around the 6 to 10 ringgit class, which has approximately 20 days. This means the most of ABC Cafe's daily sales are concentrated within this range. After this point, the frequency gradually decreases as the sales value increases. We can also observe a long tail extending towards the higher sales values. This is an important feature because it indicates that there are some days where the cafe achieves a much higher sales than usual. Therefore, the histogram shows a right skew distribution, also known as a positive skewness. In simple terms, most days have relatively lower sales, while only a few days have very high sales. These higher sales days may represent busy days, special promotions, weekends, or other factors that increase customer spending. So, the histogram helps ABC Cafe understand where its daily sales are mostly concentrated and identify unusual high sales days. Moving on to the frequency polygon, a frequency polygon is another way of displaying the distribution of our sales data. Instead of using bars like a histogram, it uses points connected by lines to show the frequency of each class. From the graph, we can see that the frequency increased rapidly until it reached the highest point at approximately 8 ringgit midpoint. After reaching to the peak, the frequency gradually decreased as the sales value became higher. This pattern is important because it supports what we observe from the histogram. The data is clearly right skewed because the graph has a longer tail towards the higher sales value. This means that the majority of ABC cafes are concentrated around the lower sales intervals, while fewer days record higher sales. The frequency polygon makes it easier for us to see the overall shape and trend of the sales distribution. Therefore, both the histogram and frequency polygon provide similar findings and confirm that the ABC Cafe's daily sales have a positive or right skewed distribution. Lastly, we have the OGIF or cumulative frequency graph. An OGIF is used to show the cumulative frequency of data. In other words, it tells us how many observations fall below or up to a particular sales value. Based on our graph, approximately 72% of the daily sales are 15 ringgit 50 cent or below. This represents around 30 cents out of 15 operational days. This is useful because it tells us that the majority of ABC Cafe's daily sales are within the lower to middle sales range. The OGIF also helps the cafe identify sales thresholds. For example, management can use this information to understand how frequently certain sales levels are achieved. This can support decision making such as staffing, inventory planning, and promotional activities. For example, if the cafe knows that the most days have sales below a certain level, it can plan its stock and staffing according to normal demand while preparing additional resources for days when higher sales are expected. Overall, the OGIF confirmed the findings from the histogram and frequency polygon. Most of ABC Cafe sales are concentrated at the lower to middle range, with the fewer days achieving higher sales.
My name is Shobhanan Ramani. My metric number is 23 DLS 24F2052. Next, I will explain the interpretation of our findings. Most days generate moderate and predictable sales. The data also shows that budget-friendly sales are more common, while only a few days have extremely high revenue. Customer traffic is mainly consistent with younger customers. The positive skew also shows that there are occasional days with very high sales. Overall finding help us understand the sales pattern of ABC Cafe. Next are the VBE3 elements. First is ethical data management. We need to maintain confidently, report the data honestly, and respect customer privacy. Second is sustainability and social responsibility. The cafe can reduce food waste by using data to plan inventory and improve operational efficiency. Third is teamwork and professionalism. Good communication, cooperation, leadership, and time management are important to complete the project successfully. And finally, these are our recommendations. First, ABC Cafe should develop promotion during peak periods and focus marketing on younger customers to increase revenue. Second, the cafe should improve kitchen workflows and staffing during busy hours to reduce waiting time and increase customer satisfaction. Third, inventory and purchasing should be planned according to the daily sales patterns. This can help reduce waste and control costs. This recommendation can help ABC Cafe improve its sales, customer satisfaction, and overall operations. Thank you.